to work. I'll take a swing at him in the playbook. You're watching The Ed Show on MSNBC. 119 times? And finally tonight, Republicans are already whining about Speaker Pelosi's decision to call the House back from recess to pass a job-saving bill. House Minority Leader John Boehner lashed out in a tweet saying it's official, Dems to call House back on Tuesday to pass more stimulus spending paid for with new job-killing tax cuts on U.S. job creators. And Psycho Sister Michelle Bachmann follows her tanned leader today, saying it's time to mobilize against what she calls a government worker bailout. For more, let me bring in Democratic strategist and professor at NYU, Bob Shrum. We should point out that Palm Sunday of 2005, Tom DeLay called the House back for one American, and that was the Terri Schiavo case. What's the political ups and downs of this, Bob?
Look, well, first of all, I just listened to Senator Whitehouse, and the truth is Democrats would be a lot better off staying in Washington fighting for America's jobs than going back to their districts and campaigning for their jobs, because there's still so many people out of work in this country. These so-called government jobs are teachers and cops and firefighters who put their lives on the line every day. What the Republicans really object to is, first, the so-called tax hike that's going to pay for it isn't a job killer. It closes a tax loophole on companies that keep profits overseas. Second, and even more shameful, the whole Republican strategy here has been to slow down economic recovery as much as possible. They want these people laid off. They want that anger out there in November. They want to get more Republican seats in Congress by keeping more Americans out of work.
I want to show you this billboard near Dayton, Ohio, and it's pretty aggressive, and I think it's funny as can be. It shows John Boehner with a golf club. BeatBoehner.com. When was the last time you golfed 119 times in 1 year? Bob, that's a classic, isn't it?
It is. And, you know, he's tan all year round. He's tan in the middle of a blizzard. He's a guy, by the way, who does need to come back here and does need to work. But when he comes here, the only work he does is to try to stop other Americans from going back to work. He opposed a stimulus that we found out in a report last week saved 8 million American jobs. I only wish it would have been bigger, and it would have been bigger if the Republicans had not done everything they could to stop it.
Am I misreading this, or am I totally wrong, whatever, but isn't there enough material out there for the Democrats to just take it to them in the midterms? I mean, they're home now. They're going to come back. They're trying to do it on behalf of the American people. It would seem to me that this is easy messaging time for the Democrats.
Well, look, it's not an easy circumstance, but there's a very clear message, which is who's going to stand up and fight for you and who's going to stand up and fight for special interests. And we get example after example after example of that day after day. You know, Harry Truman did this in 1948. And you know how he did it in 1948? He didn't let the Congress go home in August. He said, stay here and pass these bills. The country watched. They got the point.
Bob Shrum, always a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks so much.